Over the past few months, I've gone from being completely anti-AI and everything that it stands for to being a little bit won over by it, if you like. I've been to talks about it. I've listened to what friends and colleagues have been doing with it. And I have to admit that in some circumstances, for some things, it's actually been really useful. And I don't use it instead of my own brain and my own creativity. I'm using it more to give me ideas and inspiration and to give me a bit of a framework that I can build on from there. So I think if you use it in the right way, it can be really good. However, we are having real problems in the herbal medicine community with AI and it not being used correctly. So one of the problems we have is that AI is trawling every single book that's been written on the subject and every single website that's been written on the subject, and it can't really analyze that correctly, or not in the same way as a human who is trained in that would be able to analyze it. So when you are putting questions about herbs into AI, it's just pulling all that information out and giving it to you, but it's giving it to you out of context, and it's likely giving you inaccurate information because unfortunately most of what's online that is to do with herbs is total rubbish. It's written by people who don't know herbs, don't understand them, and don't work with them. And I appreciate some of that is on us as herbalists. We need to be writing more, we need to be out there more, sharing our expertise, which is based on practical clinical use, and not theory and research that's just, taken in isolation and not given in context. So when you are given an answer by AI, unfortunately, a lot of it is based on inaccurate, out of context information, and it's not as useful to you as you might think. We have actually seen foraging books for medicinal herbs written by AI where they describe the herb and what it looks like and what it does, and then they give an image next to that description, which is a deadly herb. So it might be talking about something like yarrow, which is harmless pretty much in most cases, perfectly good, safe herb to take, and then next to it they will put a picture of something like henbane or belladonna or something like that. And if you didn't know any better, you'd be picking those plants thinking that that's yarrow and going home and taking it, and there's every chance you could be killing yourself in the process. So please don't get any foraging books from AI. If you want to learn your plant ID and your foraging, you use as many of your senses as you safely can. So you're not just using your eyes, you're looking at the smell, you're going for the taste and the feel of it, because that gives you the finer details of how to tell one plant from the other. The only way you can learn that is to go out with someone who is expert in foraging and plant ID and learn from them. And this is what I do. I've got some good basic knowledge, but there's still tons that I don't know, and I go out as much as I can with professional botanists and foragers and learn the minute details of how to tell one plant from another. The other lovely thing about learning in that way is that it's connecting you back to your plants, back to nature, and back to the environment around you, which is really what the essence of herbal medicine is all about. It's about that beautiful, lovely interaction between person and plant, which so many of us have lost, but desperately need to get back, particularly in this day and age. Another thing is that actually, if you're seeing a herbalist, the herbalist is now generally kind of inclined to tell you what herbs you're taking. They might put a list of them on the label of the bottle. That's what we're supposed to do for safety as much as anything else. So, if you had to go to A&E or something and the doctors needed to know which herbs you were taking, that information would be there for you. Now, what's happening is, for some reason, even though we say, if you've got any questions about your herbs or if you want me to talk you through them, just let me know, those patients are still going home, putting those herbs into AI and then coming back to us and saying, you've prescribed that incorrectly, or you've prescribed that unsafely with this medication that I'm taking. And it's not that we've done that at all, because we're always checking for interactions before we prescribe our herbs. And it's not in your interest for us to work unsafely, and it's certainly not in ours either. But what we're doing is we're treating you, the person, we're taking everything into account. And we are taking, the whole picture of the herbs into account, your entire case history, how you look, how your eyes look. We might use iridology, we might use tongue and pulse diagnosis, we might use astrology. We have our own ways of getting to know the person in front of us in a lot of depth and a lot of detail. and forming that connection with that person. And intuition does come into it as well quite a lot of the time. But we always do our due diligence. We're always making sure that we're prescribing safely first and foremost, and we're looking out for that person and their safety. So please don't come to us and tell us that after all the years of training that we've been through, all the hundreds or thousands of patients that we've seen, that we're prescribing unsafely because AI says so. Because as I said, AI is analysing rubbish information, inaccurate, out of context information, compared to us and our genuine heart human connection that we have with our patients and our years of knowledge and clinical experience. If you really want to upset your herbalist, just do that. There'll be no going back. So I hope that helps. By all means, if you want to learn more about herbs, speak to your herbalist about the good books to read, the good courses to do, the good websites to look on. There are plenty out there. You just need to know where they are. And the Herbal Reality website is one really good source of accurate information written by herbalists that has got quite a comprehensive directory on different herbs. So there's one place you can look. Obviously, my blog has got some interesting stuff on herbs and menopause. And there are plenty of other well-written blogs and websites out there. But please do ask someone who actually knows how to use herbs. All right, I'll be back again soon. I'm Hannah from Herbology. If you've found this useful, please do share it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.